Hey,
Hey, Andrew, how's it going, bud?
good. What's up?
You ready for this?
Not really.
Oh, let's be honest. I don't think anybody can truly be ready for a pound of Reese's, particularly in this form. I
Yeah,
think if it was like the little mini cups, I could probably down a pound without even thinking about it. But
yeah. I
this,
probably do that like once a week, about a pound worth.
yeah, this, it's like, oh, that's a really big peanut butter cup. Like, you have to actually stop and think about it.
I mean, it's as big as my face, literally.
Yeah, it's huge. Well, we got here. Looks like we got
Hey, Lefty's
John
here. I think he might
Garessa.
win. Check this out,
Yeah.
dude.
I was gonna say Kevin's starting a pool to figure out which one of us is gonna puke first. I'm just like, man, I appreciate the confidence.
I mean, when you combine that with my bubbly, I mean, I
See,
think that's a recipe for disaster.
I went with a giant glass of milk because I'm like,
Well, I
I know
have
I'm
that
gonna
as a
be
backup
thirsty.
too.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Is that a Bubba Gump shrimp cup?
Heck yeah, it is.
Heck yes, love it. I've been to one Bubba Gump shrimp, but it was the one on Maui, so that was
Nice.
really hard to beat because
I love Forrest
beautiful
Gump.
view.
That's like my favorite movie.
That's a great movie. It is a great movie. Tom Hanks is a great actor just in general. So,
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
all right. Well, shall we crack these suckers open to see
Man.
exactly what we're getting ourselves into? Because I feel like this hour is going to go by fast.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Oh, there's 4 people watching.
Yeah, Kevin.
Not let them
Andrew
down.
Andrew is gonna puke first.
What are these, like 2 years old? When's the last
Here.
time we talked about this?
Right? I think it was last year. It was definitely before you went to Workbench Conference. I remember that.
Okay.
You were in New York for work, I think.
I was in New
And
York.
like
Yeah.
I stumbled across it look at the size of this thing. Like absurd.
I mean, it doesn't look too big on you, but I mean, right here, look at this.
Yeah,
It's
I have a
perspective. Like,
notoriously
look how
large
big
head,
it
so
is.
it's like, yeah, or we could do the forced perspective like Hobbit thing, where it's like it's as big as my entire head. You're like, yeah, not really.
When I was a kid, I always loved to copy that commercial where you stick your finger and make a hole in the center.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So
Oh man,
these are gonna be.
it's not even a paper covering. It's like
I know the plastic,
a
right?
plastic one. It's legit.
This thing is crazy. So all right, well, first bite, first impression. Let's see how this goes.
Cheers.
Well,
Mm. No.
that is a lot. Like, we may not actually do much talking with all this going on.
I can't even say anything.
It's gonna be like being at the dentist, being like,
Oh, good though.
yeah, it is. It's really good. It's not a bad. Like they seem to have the chocolate to peanut butter ratio right, which like I kind of feel like the perfect chocolate to peanut butter ratio is usually on the Hershey's, like the Easter eggs that they do.
Right.
Like not the round ones that look like a Cadbury egg, but like the flat ones that are shaped like the egg. But
Yes.
like it
No,
has
I
like,
just had those like 2 days ago. I'm
oh yeah,
still stealing from my son's stash.
yeah. I went to get clearance Easter candy, and it was like 70% off on Easter candy, but they didn't have any of those left. And I wound up, they had Reester bunnies, which were basically kind of the same thing, but they're like the little molded like Easter bunnies.
Yeah.
And they're not bad, but the ratio isn't quite right, and the chocolate is just a little bit different than the one that they use on the eggs. Like it's a little
Is it
higher
really?
gloss. Like, yeah, I think they use a different type because it's easier to get the like features on. Whereas when you're just making basically a peanut butter cup that's shaped like an egg,
Yeah.
like you can just drop it in there and you don't need any detail. So
Hold on for a second. I feel like I just ate like 2 whole cups in that one bite.
right, I'm just like, what have we gotten ourselves into with this? Like, I almost said, whose idiot idea was this? And I'm like, oh wait, that was mine. I have nobody
Well, I'm
to
the one
blame
that
but
prompted
myself.
you. I said, hey, that's a good challenge.
Yeah. But if I had not stopped and taken a picture of this thing, like, man. So that Game Boy, dude, I gotta talk about that because holy cow, that thing, like, I don't know how the voting's going. I haven't been watching it that closely, but as you know, I voted for you guys like twice because
Thanks, man.
Andrew's supporting Andrews, obviously, but also nobody else. Like, there's some fantastic stuff. Don't get me wrong. Any other year, I think it was anybody's game. But I really like the fact that you guys had an actually fully functioning Game Boy, like, and it's made of wood.
You
And
know,
I was just blown away.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely been something that I wanted to do as well, because I've never literally had a single passion project.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've ever done ever since I started woodworking or making in general was because somebody asked me to do it.
Yeah.
You know, paid me a commission or whatever it was. I've never had the time, and I'm kind of thanking this whole stay-at-home thing to give me that opportunity to really just spread my wings and see what I could do with this and take advantage of that extra month that we had for the collab, because it was supposed to end last month, and I was kind of worried that with all the ideas that I had in my head to join with what Ricky had done, I didn't know if I would be able to get it done.
Yeah.
And it's literally down to the wire. Like I didn't finish. Check it out. Oh, by the way, for the four other people that are watching.
We're up to 5 now. We're up to 5. This is
5.
good.
Oh, we're 5. Okay, so check this out. You won't know this, but it's currently under operation right now because something happened, or I might have hit a wire or something, and now the monitor is not working.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But so you had it working long enough to take that awesome video of it.
Yes. So glad. I was telling Ricky, dude, it's not working. It's not working anymore. What if somebody else wants to see it? And this is what I'm getting right now. I got a blank screen, but the battery light's on.
Nice.
Yeah, but whatever. I mean, all the content is out there. I'm so glad that happened.
Kevin's even giving respect on it. He's like, but you didn't hear it from him. So when your other competitors are like, whoa, like you've done good.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of sleepless nights and Googling and research and seeing how far we could take it. There was a whole bunch of other features that I wanted to have on it, like Wi-Fi to the TV instead of connecting HDMI or whatever. But yeah, I'm glad how it turned out. It was a lot of fun, and I just checked the video on my post. I think it was at like 9,990 views. Insane. I was like, I want to screenshot this when it hits 10K or something. Yeah. Not that it really means anything, but it's something to me,
It's big. I mean, it's one of those things, like, I look at my YouTube videos and, like, I randomly, like, I officially this week, I've got 3 videos that have over 1,000 views. And, that's not much compared to a lot of people. But for me, that's like, oh my gosh, 1,000 people have watched this video.
Yeah, no.
But my most recent one is, like, I don't know why, but the other day I posted about it. My sandbox build from last summer randomly has blown up, and, like, I got posted on a website and people are making comments on it on that website, and, like, people are going to my blog. Like, I've had consistent traffic for the last month and a half, and I'm guessing it's probably because people are bored and stuck at their home, and they've got kids that aren't in school, and they're like, I need something to keep them occupied.
Oh yeah,
I need to build a sandbox. Like, that's
a lot
the
of
only thing that
projects are getting a big kick in exposure nowadays.
So it's been one of those things that was like, oh, okay, but it's been interesting. So looks like we got a question from a vintage illumination company, and it pinned it up there. How did you know how much room you needed for the components that you put in that?
Well, what I did was first I sketched it up in Google SketchUp just to get the dimensions right. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of research. Like, I didn't even know if the components would work together, so I bought more than I could, different variations of it, just so I'll have the flexibility of testing out different components, and then returned what I didn't use. Yeah. But half of it I still kept just for future use. Right? I always say that I'm going to return what I don't use.
I'm going to return it. Oh, well, actually, I could use this eventually. Yeah, no, I get that.
But yeah, I mean, like 80% of the components that I wanted to use, I was able to do it with. If you guys had followed my stories, there were some speed bumps along the way, like the volume wheel not fitting correctly or stuff like that. but I had to make sure that whatever components I had, I sent those dimensions to Ricky, who was making the body, to make sure that I had that room or that clearance, top to bottom, inside and out. So he filled it up to the T, like down to the 16th of an inch. This guy's like a master carpenter, dude. Like,
Yeah.
he was able to get it done perfectly, and so it didn't cause me any issues at all. What was that? I only put 10 minutes into mine. Come on, man.
I'm like, that's just rubbing salt in the wound, because I have been following yours for long enough. Like, how many hours do you think you put into yours? Like,
somebody
ultimately?
just asked me that too. In research, I probably put about 25 hours, just research. Testing, like the development phase, might have been another 15. Actual, no, not even 15. Yeah, 15. Setup and camera and filming and everything, that was more than half of the actual building. I probably have about 500 gigs of footage, of raw footage.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, because I had 2 cameras going, one with the slider and one just as one on the tripod. But all in all, I think about 50, 60 hours. 50, 60 hours. Parts cost me maybe close to 300. Ricky maybe about 100 to 200 for the wood. But we tried to salvage whatever scraps we had, components we had. Like for the sound mixer that I made for it, I was able to have some scrap electronic stuff reused. But I had the monitor already, which is a touch screen monitor that I just kind of repurposed, and I haven't had any use for it until now. So like, oh, okay, might as well make it perfect. The Game Boy screen in general is a square screen. So that was my dilemma. Like, do I want to crop the widescreen just to, just to make it look legit? And, or maybe have an insert that's replaceable that can have a square screen or a wide screen, depending on what you want to play. Because I didn't want to just have Game Boy games on there.
Sure.
Right. Any other game system now you can put on, like, on whatever, on the Raspberry Pi. So yeah, all these little hiccups, I was kind of worried about it, but I really wanted to get it true to form at least, but not get too close to, not sacrifice functionality, for that. But it all kind of worked out.
That's awesome. Yeah. Like, electronics is an area that I've not really gotten into. I took computer science in high school, and like, I think the extent of my stuff in there was writing a program in Perl, which I don't know if anybody actually uses Perl. Like, it's one of those like archaic. I tried to write. What was it? I tried to write a DOS-based adventure effectively for Perl back in the day, and
you
it
probably
was
made
like
more progress in programming than I have. I'm a copy and paster.
Well, I tried to do copy and paste, but then I wind up messing things up. I had a while where I did something to my blog where I was using you're supposed to use a child theme, and I tried using a child theme, and when I used the child theme, I don't know what it was that I broke, but like, there's a slider for featured posts up on the top of the page, and the slider just stopped working. Like, something, when I put it into a child theme, and I searched everywhere, couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. I finally had to delete the child theme and go back to the regular theme, because it was just like, as much as I would like to be able to tinker around and customize this, I don't know how to fix this, and it's bugging me. So, but
I had plenty of times where I just gave up. I needed to just like take a breather, take 3 hours, and kind of reprocess. What's funny is that a lot of the electronic projects that I do, they're very few and far in between. So I almost forget everything that I've learned since the last time. Yeah. So I have to research and do everything all over again. It's not like riding a bike, I think, because I mean, if
you're not doing it,
some familiarity with it, and then I can get it going. But now I need to literally take notes and keep a notebook and all of that, just so I can refer to it.
Yeah.
I'm almost halfway with this. Where you at?
I'm like maybe getting close to halfway on this one. Like, I don't know. Probably should take another bite. So, Steveson Creative asks, who gets to keep the Game Boy at the end of the day?
That's Emmett. Hey, what's up, Emmett? We haven't talked about it. We talked about it, but we haven't decided on it.
Flip a coin.
I asked Ricky if he'd want to have it before we release the video so that maybe he can have some footage of it too. Mm-hmm. But he said he should, but he didn't want to. So that thing is like 15 pounds. So like, I don't know how much. It cost him just almost $60 alone just to send it to me with just the body. Oh yeah, and he sent me the power glove, like a whole goodie package. Like power glove, he sent me some Game Boy material.
Oh man.
And a whole bunch of scraps like maple and walnut and veneers. It was great, a perfect package, and I used almost all the scraps. But yeah, I didn't. I think I might just keep it. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna offer it to him again and see if he wants it, or if it gains a certain amount of traction, and maybe we'll consider, auctioning it or selling it or putting it, whatever. I mean,
I'm going to say it's a cool enough piece that somebody might legitimately pay for it in an auction for whatever you decide to do it for. Like,
yeah, I don't have a lot of game systems at home, so maybe this might be the only one. I used to be a hardcore gamer. Like, this might have been 20 years ago.
Yeah.
All into the, Final Fantasy, those role-playing games and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, not anymore. I think when it stopped for me, gaming was one time I was playing Final Fantasy on PS2.
Okay.
I reached a certain level where there was a boss that I beat, and as soon as I killed him, it reset the game system. Like, so it never saved it. And it happened time and time and again. So I just got disappointed. So I got turned off and never played games again to the extent of role playing. And I was just butthurt. I never started. And I know that if I start, I'll get stuck on it again. And it's one of those time sucks that wasn't worth my time.
Now, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm probably older than you. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you. 37.
Yeah. I'll be 39 this year.
Okay, so you're a couple years older than me, but we're in the same, like,
we're
80s
in that
kid area. So, and your kid is 5?
He's 4. He turned 4 in January. Then I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Okay.
Who I see half the time.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so, yeah, we've got he's 3, he'll be 4 in August, and then we've got I'm having to do math now, we at 7 months from October. I think we're at 7 months now. So, nice. It all just kind of blends together the last month or so.
Mm-hmm.
Are you already on your second one?
Heck no.
Okay. I was like, I thought he was already at half, and then I'm like, wait, how is he? What?
No, it's still at a half. Here it is. Right here.
Okay. That's where we're at here.
Yeah, I think we're about the same.
Okay.
I don't think we'll go past this first cup.
Yeah, probably not.
We'll cap it off right there.
As much as Kevin would like to see us puke, I don't think that that's advisable for anybody. Like, my biggest Instagram fame to this point has been my entry into the Sawdust Junkies 5K lip sync battle contest that actually won me the sign that Lizzie from the House of Timber made back here.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they did, like, back when she and Ashley were doing their account together before Lizzie moved, like, they did a 5K giveaway, and it was basically a boy band lip sync battle. And, like, there were a lot of people that jumped in on it, but I put the most, like, work into actually producing it. And I did LFO's Summer Girls.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And, like, it was one of those memorable things that I was like, I'm making a complete fool of myself on the internet, but that's just kind of who I am, and I'm okay with that.
The game, man.
And obviously it worked out because I've got this sign and a story to tell with it, but, like... That's
awesome.
Yeah. Like, Lizzie and Ashley are both awesome. Like, I got to meet both of them last year at Workbench Conference. Like, Lizzie was actually there, and Ashley drove out from Nashville to come visit. And so I got to meet both of them there. And that was a lot of fun. Like, they've been probably some of my oldest Instagram friends as far as, people that I met through Instagram. And like it was, we had fun. It was one of those things, particularly like Lizzie and I we both knew that we were going to be expecting kids at Workbench Conference, but we hadn't told anybody yet. And so we kind of had this moment on the floor where she's like, guess what? I'm pregnant. And I looked around and I'm like, we're expecting number 2. And then I told my wife, and my wife loves Lizzie. And she's like, I said, so Lizzie's expecting. And she goes, I'm assuming that you told her that we're expecting 2 then? I'm like, yeah, no, that was one of those moments where I'm just like, I'm going to open my mouth and say something to somebody because I haven't told anybody yet. And this is somebody that I can tell. So.
Yeah, she's awesome. She got me probably just by a single shout out, she got me probably the most followers in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Which
I was going to say, I think I started following you because of her shout out.
Oh, really?
I think so,
yeah.
If I remember correctly.
So thanks, Lizzie. Appreciate it. But yeah, it's been kind of hard to get any kind of traction on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know.
It's right now it is the biggest following that I have. I was super excited on YouTube when I got over 100 and I got to actually name like my link. But like Instagram, it's been a slow climb. So
yeah.
I was gonna say you had a pretty good spike from the Game Boy too.
Yeah, I mean the Game Boy by far is the biggest spike that I've gotten with all the reshares. I think it's almost 300 reshares or shares, which is just mind blowing. Yeah. Put my heart and soul into it, so I'm hoping that gets a decent kind of uptick in.
I'm sure it's one of those things I think people are going to be talking about for a while. So
I actually got asked to get interviewed. Make or Break Shop.
Make or Break Shop. I don't know if I'll have to check. I don't know if I follow them or not.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he reached out to me because I forgot who it was that put my name out there. Might have been Ethan. Somebody.
Which Ethan?
Carter.
Carter. Okay. Yes. That guy is an amazing dude. And
yeah.
Like, sorry, I just was like, I hear a noise, and I'm right below my 3-year-old's room, so like the fact that I can hear him through my ISO tube kind of tells you how loud he is. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But so he's upset about something. I don't know what, but my wife is probably figuring it out. So yeah. Anyway.
Kevin says, my wife thinks Nintendo will be contacting you and Ricky soon. Well, I posted the video on Reddit, on the Nintendo subreddit. I'm not big on Reddit at all. Actually, this is the very first time that I posted on there because people said where to go. And I immediately got shut down by Nintendo. Well, they just said that it's not the appropriate content to post. And they said, if you want to post that kind of stuff, go to subreddit Casual Nintendo. And I got one nice comment from it. I think the guy said, you have the smallest hands ever.
It's not my hands. It's
I don't think
the Game Boy.
I think they missed the specs when I put it on the screen. Like here's this guy playing this, this Hobbit.
Man, your hands are tiny. If you're picking up a Game Boy, it's that big. What? Oh man, the internet is great. Like my sandbox video, like the thing that you find when you post something about a sandbox is if they don't have. I'll give you my current status.
Yeah, Ali's asking.
Yeah,
we're halfway through.
Yeah, we're about halfway through. My sandbox video, what you find is people, for whatever reason, will latch on to whatever you don't explicitly show them in a video. And so the first thing that I have gotten from multiple people is you really need to make because it didn't have a cover displayed in the video, because I have a tarp that I pull over it and like it secures and all of that, because we have cats in our neighborhood. I don't want them using it for a box of Charmin, basically. Like this is my child sandbox. I don't need your cat's poop in here. Everybody on this site, oh, you probably want to cover that so that there's no cats in it. And then there's somebody who's like, oh, you also don't want to have a sandbox in, like, I stopped having sandboxes in general because snakes like to lay their eggs in them. I'm like,
wow.
And then the one that got me is there was a guy who posted something, and like the video, I very clearly indicate that I used play sand. Like, it is Quickcrete, like they make stuff that they wash specifically for sandboxes.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I always love retired contractor guy, like, who like will come on and it's like, he's got input, whether you want to hear it or not. And he's like, my question is, why did the dad in the video use unwashed sand instead of washed sand? Because it would be better and finer grain and all of this stuff. And then he goes into talking about how to properly make a concrete pad. There is nothing in my video about a concrete pad. I did not make a concrete pad. This thing is sitting on dirt with sand in it.
Trying to hack your thread or hack.
And I'm just like, I was like, well, I did use play sand, which is specifically made for this. Like, he was like, well, it's going to cost a little bit more. It actually costs a lot more because it's like, I think for just regular old unwashed sand, it's like $50 a yard. Yeah. I had to do the math with these bags of Quickcrete play sand, but it's about $250 a yard for this stuff. So it's definitely more expensive. That's worth every penny. But I'm like, I did that. And then I said, as far as the concrete goes, I have no idea what that has to do with my post, but thanks for the input. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just like, why on earth are we talking about a concrete pad? This doesn't make any sense. And then on top of that, somebody thanked him for his advice on the concrete pad. And I'm just like,
hey, you're making connections here.
I quit. I don't even know anymore.
Yeah. Another comment that came across on Reddit was, and I was expecting this, that's great and all, but the real question is how the battery life is. So, I mean, I looked up the actual Game Boy battery life. It goes from like 10 to 30 hours or something, depending on what you're playing. And I tested mine. I was able to get about 10 hours, but nice. There was some caveats to it. Like, if you're blasting the music, you're using up a lot of power, and that's going to really drain it. I can get as little as 4 hours on that. But they're so quick to find out. They're expecting a perfect Game Boy, and I love it. It gets me thinking. Like, I love people like poking holes in design and stuff, and trying to figure things out so I can make sure next time around I can cover all the bases.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a lot of times where Ricky and I were talking about what features to go into it, and we were like, well, no, but the woodworkers won't won't appreciate this thing. Like, we want to impress them. And like, yeah, and the tinkerers won't like that I'm using this component or something like that. So there was a lot of thought that was going into this thing.
Yeah. You gotta try to think of everything, and even when you think of everything, somebody's gonna find something. It's like, oh, well, that isn't quite the right font.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to more trolls coming around because I see it all the time of everybody posting like Mr. Build It, all of his Suck It Brenda posts.
Yes.
And it's I guess a sign of success.
I was gonna say, if they're not criticizing you, you're doing something wrong, right?
Yes. I love the criticism. It's fuel.
Yeah. No, the Brenda comments always get me. It's just like, okay. And the stuff that Mr. Build It seems to attract a lot of them too. Like, he's like Alex. I got to talk to him at Workbench Conference last year. Like, obviously I wasn't there this year, so but I got to talk to him last year, and he was a great guy to talk to, had great ideas and all of that. It was like, but he's very much just himself out there, and like, you can take him or leave him, and he, like, you can tell him, I'm gonna unfollow you because of X, and he's just like, whatever. Right. I'm just like, that's just Alex.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't get a chance to meet. He wasn't at Workbench Con this year.
I was gonna say, I didn't think he was there this year,
no,
but
he wasn't.
Yeah, I really wish I would have been able to make it this year. It just was not in the cards with he would have been, what, 3 months old, 4 months old?
Yeah.
Like, figuring out the financial aspect of it and all that, it was just like, but I really wanted to be there this year. So
from what you've seen and people's stories from this year, how is it compared from what you experienced last year?
It's hard to say because, like, I think I kind of became the person who everybody was going to for stories because I was like, I didn't go back and log exactly how many hours of stories I took, but I took a pretty absurd amount of stories while I was there.
That's what
like, I don't know that there was anybody that really took up that torch to quite the extent that I did this year. But I mean, it looked like there were still a lot of people there, so that was good. Some of the feedback that I heard is that it wasn't as good as last year. And I know my friend, do you know Jen from 7 Mile Designs?
You were wearing her shirt, right?
Yes, I am wearing her shirt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So, like, she's less than impressed, and she pretty much posted a super blistering review of what she felt with it. And yes, I was going to say Emmett. That's actually when Emmett started following me as well as at Workbench Conference. I picked up a lot of followers during Workbench Conference because people were like checking it out. Like,
right?
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, people were like, "Whoa, that's so cool! This is what he's doing." And so, like, I tried to do that, and it was one of those things. Like, I tried to make sure that I had as many moments as I could get in there to kind of share. This is everything that's going on because I loved being there. Like, the whole vibe and being around other people there.
It was unreal, man. Like, I wanted to stay up all night. But I just couldn't. I on average I was up till like 1:30, 2 o'clock, and that was okay for me. Plus I was like jet lagged, and it was
the jet lag coming from the West Coast is terrible, and like the travel day too. Like, I don't know how your flight over there went, but I, coming from Portland, had to fly down to Las Vegas. I think it was a 3-hour layover in Vegas, and then I flew to Georgia from there.
Oh, wow.
And, like, I mean, I think it was a total of 8 hours travel time to get there. And, like, you leave in the crack of dawn, and you're getting there after dark. So, like, you're just mine
wasn't too bad. I actually ran into Alicia, Pneumatic Addict, in my connecting flight in Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. I remember that, being like, hey, I know her.
Like, I saw the blue hair from a mile away, like, hey, I know where she's going.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that I saw her at the gate, and I introduced myself, and we were chatting for a little bit. Then they started to call the seats in the rows and groups. So I said, okay, well, I'll probably see you there. So I sit down, and lo and behold, she sits next to me. She's assigned to the seat that's right next to me. I'm like, oh, this is cool. Let's chop it up some more.
Nice.
Yeah, we ended up talking all the way. We took an Uber together to Workbench Con, and she's a great chick, and I'm glad that we actually got connected and kind of got my feet wet and talking with people who I follow and people that I've just been following on Instagram and on the screen and never actually met live person until her.
Yeah, no, that's the crazy thing. That was the crazy thing for me going to Workbench Conference it was like, I am what is known as an introverted extrovert. Like, there's the whole Myers-Briggs personality test, and I am slightly on the extrovert side of the spectrum, but it's one of those things where I have trouble breaking the ice. Once you know me, I don't shut up, but it was one of those things that was so surreal coming into Workbench because I came in there and I'd see people that I'd been interacting with online. Yeah. And for all intents and purposes, this person is a complete stranger, aside from the fact that I've had all of this interaction with them on the internet. And I just get into conversations with people and have full interaction. And it was like the most comfortable thing. And I just remember being like, this is absolutely unreal.
I think I might have a similar effect. I haven't done the whole Myers-Briggs kind of test, but I might also be an introverted extrovert. I mean, I'm a very quiet person in general, but I'll probably only blossom when you speak of something that, that really piques my interest, but I'm not generally good at talking about small talk stuff. Like, I'm not big on sports. I'm not big on like movie references or any kind of pop culture kind of thing. Yeah. And I've kind of been in this little bubble. I've just been like an R&B dude from high school that loves to break dance and sing and get into anything creative. And I really don't pay attention to anything else that's in the outside world. I'm really like a hermit. But I don't know. I guess when I'm on Instagram, it's like a different thing. Like I feel like I can be anybody or anything, and it's getting to that point where like I'm starting to just branch out a little bit more.
Yeah.
And kind of see what actually sticks. I'm kind of throwing everything at the wall right now.
Yeah, definitely. No, I can say that we're probably a little bit opposite in that, because I am very much pop culture reference guy. Like, and I will drop obscure pop culture references. Like, there is a video that I'm working on that I need to finish. Like, I think I just have to record the open for it at this point. Everything else is done. But I am dropping in possibly the most obscure reference that I could. Have you ever heard of Homestar Runner?
Nope.
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it is, like,
it wouldn't be surprising for somebody like me, though.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It was back before YouTube really existed. Like, people were doing Flash animation. That was the big thing. And, like, there was this whole website called Homestar Runner, and one of the characters on that is a guy named Strong Bad. And one of their features that they always did was the Strong Bad emails, where, like, basically fans of Strong Bad would write in to Strong Bad and his email, and he'd respond to them. And, like, they were the most bizarre, random, like, what the heck is going on? Like, in hindsight, looking at it as, like, a grown man, you know, this is the type of thing that I'd watched when I was in, like, late high school, early college kind of thing. Looking back at it now, I'm like, man, I watched some really random crap. But, like, it's one of those things where what was it? Like, there's one where somebody asks him what he thinks about techno music. And, like, he winds up talking about, like, the whole progression of it, where it's like, well, first you got the, what was it? The bass part, the do, 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 do. And then you got to go to an alternating bass part, like, do, 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 do. And then, like, then you got to drop in the obscure 80s reference, 80s movie reference. The system is down. The system is down. And, like, it goes into this whole thing where, like, it's doing all of these at once. And so there's a part in this video that I'll just go ahead and tell you and anybody who's here, because basically it's one of those random things. But I'm doing a review of some multicolor smart bulbs. And one of the things that I do is a, like, dance party kind of thing where, like, it's just me staring straight at the camera, and off camera, I've got my iPad and I'm running circles through the color finder. And so it's like going all over the place.
It's going through the color wheel. Yep.
Yeah. But I basically took the techno song that he basically talked his way through on this Strong Bad email, and I wound up going and recording it in GarageBand with just my vocals. And, like, it's one of those things that I'm probably going to drop something in there where it's like, if you can, the first person to correctly identify this pop culture reference gets some kind of prize. I don't know what the prize is going to be yet, but it was one of those things that I'm just like, well, I'm doing this color wheel thing, and what would be good there? Oh, that Strong Bad techno song would be perfect.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. That would be funny.
And my wife also, like, is also familiar with Strong Bad email, and, like, there's one reference that we always, like, do where, like, what was it? Usually when I get, like, a spam email, like, he's got this thing where it's like one of his fans named Allie sends him this email, and it's like, I'm looking at the clock to make sure that we're not coming up on our hour, because I know that this will cut us off. We are at 10:18 right now, and I know we started a little bit after 10:30, so we got a little bit of time left. But yeah, she, like, so in any case, like, one of his female fans is like, you know, I'm a huge fan in all of this, and like, he's, like, accidentally deletes this email to this adoring fan where he's like, oh no, come back, Ali, sister. And so, like, every once in a while, if I accidentally delete something, I'll be like, come back, Ali. And, like, my wife absolutely loves that. So, Kevin.
Hold on. Kevin, he's provoking us here. Where are you at? I'm almost done, bud.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm still working on it.
I probably got about 2 regular size Reese's peanut butter cups left in my hand, Kevin.
I think I'm about even with,
I'm not going to eat it in one more bite. That you might win if that happens. So I'm going to do 2 more bites, and I think that's it.
Kevin, which one of us were you betting on throwing up first? I'm just curious. Like, which one of us do you think has the weaker constitution?
He DM'd me and said me, so.
Oh, okay.
Unless he did that to you too, I don't know.
As far as I know, he didn't DM that to me, so.
Oh, I think I'm going to do it. All right, Kevin.
Yeah, I got to say.
One more bite.
Emmett, yes. Remember the good old days when we could get jet lag? Those were good times. Those were really good times.
Chocolate hobnobs?
Is that something Canadian? Like, I've never heard of a hobnob before.
I'm going to look it up right now. Hobnobs.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think. The last trip that I got to go on, it was before my wife had Austin.
To Canada?
Oh, no, not to Canada. No, sorry. The last trip that I got to go on was San Diego. So.
I think they're Irish.
Oh, well, with Emmett, that actually makes sense to me. So.
Uh-huh.
Emmett is Irish.
Did you make them yourself? Is it homemade, Emmett? Because when I Google hobnobs, it says homemade hobnob cookies. Well, WBC 2021. I will be there.
I am shooting to be there. And actually, I'm hoping to be, fingers crossed, I'm pitching a class. I actually pitched the class for this year, and It didn't wind up making it on. Like, it was one of those things where they loved the idea. It just was that I was late in the game. Like, it was one of those things that came up, and I was like, what was it? Shar from over at Wooden Maven. Wow, I can talk. Don't tell Shar I did that. Anyway, I still need to finish mine. But, like, I did a video because iMovie, for iPhone, like, I've been trying to do all of my video editing just using that, which is definitely constraining in a lot of ways.
It's challenging.
But they've added some features to it that, like, I didn't even know they were there until I stumbled across them, like green screen. Like, you can do green screen in iMovie.
Is that when you did those green screen posts?
Yes, that was when I did that bunch of green screen posts. And Char's like, you should do, like, a class on this. And I was like, there's a bunch of other stuff you could do in there, and kind of figuring out how to hack it. Like, you know, you can use the green screen, for instance, to do, like, a mask overlay kind of thing, or different stuff like that. And so I was like, that would be amazing to try to come up with that. And so I was coming up with ideas. And so I pitched it, and I heard back from them, and they were like, we love the idea, but we don't have enough sponsorship dollars to go around on this. So it's one of those things, like, basically I would have had to bring on another sponsor, and I had a sponsor in mind that I pitched, and they loved the idea, but it just wasn't in their budget. And so it was like, I get it. I totally understand. And so
wait, what was the focus of the session to be on using, like, for mobile?
Yeah, it was basically going to be mobile video editing on iMovie, and kind of just tips and tricks how to really maximize your experience on it. Like, there's things you can do. Like, there's ways to work around the fact that you really only have 2 video layers that you can work with to switch between, because you can render something and then go back and do it through. Is it the easiest way in the world? No. Would I much rather be using Adobe Premiere?
Premiere, yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where I'm challenging myself to do all of my video editing just using iMovie for this year, and just kind of using the experience that I get out of that to kind of prepare. Phone. Yeah, just on my phone. Like, I don't have a Mac.
Is all of your footage from your phone too, or is it from a DSLR?
Yes. Okay. All of my phone footage is from my phone. I actually have a Polaroid Cube that I was using for a while, but the battery on it has, like, died. Like, it was a great little camera when I was starting out with it, but it's gotten old enough that it's not working very well with the current phone, and then the battery is dying, and so it's like,
yeah.
So, but I used that for a while. I, at some point, would like to upgrade my phone to a newer iPhone, because right now I'm still using an iPhone 7 Plus. but it still works. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to trade in my phone because I'm like, well, if I don't trade the phone in because it's paid off, then I can just go ahead and use it as a second camera.
Right.
So like,
I occasionally do that too. I have an old iPhone 6 that I might use as a remote for monitoring one of my DSLRs. There's an app where you can monitor wirelessly.
Oh, nice.
What the DSLR is showing, so that if I wish I'd done like behind the scenes on certain things on this build, because at one point it was like a dance to run 2 cameras, my phone for stories, lights, turning on the motorized slider, and then action. Like,
yeah,
it was 15 seconds for it to actually get to that point where I'll do something and then mess up and have to do it all over again.
Yep.
But on top of that, I mean, let me just give those who are watching as well a quick tour of the mess that was. There's all that junk right there that I had to step over to get to light stands and to the slider and to everything. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I wish I had somebody kind of documenting this, but it was definitely a challenge, and I loved doing all of that.
Yeah, with me, like, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't have quite as many things going on, but one of the nicest things that my wife ever got me was my Apple Watch. Because before I had it, what I would do is I had spots marked on the floor for where I needed to stand to be in frame for certain shots. And like, I marked everything off. And so then I would go over there, stand in front of it, take a picture to make sure that I'm in the right spot, go back, check and see, okay, yeah. And like, having this on my wrist, it's like, boom, camera app, am I lined up? Yep, great.
Yeah.
Hit record and just
That's awesome.
fire into it. So that saved so much time and so much just going back and forth to the camera. So
yeah, at first it might seem like overkill just to have that kind of thing, but the amount of time that you save, it's like unbelievable. So Emmett's asking suggestions for a digital SLR.
I will say that you're probably better equipped to answer that question than I am because I don't have a digital SLR. My wife has one, and hers is a Nikon, I want to say, but it's several years old. I think she's had it for at least 5 years, maybe 6. So
I think just from my experience, I've worked with Nikons and Sonys. The Nikon I had was a D7000. It's exactly the same one that Ricky had when he shot, but I didn't use that one for this, for my most recent stuff. I now have a Sony A6400. It's one of the Alpha series, but it all depends on your budget. Like, you don't want to spend less than $500 if you want to get into some kind of serious filming with decent features. My camera costs about $900. But I blew more on the lenses, obviously. What was that? 7 miles.
Jen's in the house.
Hey, you didn't get it.
Like, I see her pop in, and I'm like, I have to pop the shirt because I earlier tagged her, and I said, if I'm not wearing this shirt by the time I get to the live, you can blame it on the little one because he was spitting up like crazy today. But he missed the shirt, so
you're all clear.
Yep.
Nice. But yeah, anyway, and Emmett, like, I think if you want to get somewhat serious into getting into the DSLR realm, I'm still jumping back and forth between my iPhone 8 Plus and my SLR just because whatever's convenient at the time. Yes, we did it, man. And
made it through one.
We're less than an hour. Cup number 1. Are we breaking open cup number 2?
I don't think I can handle cup number 2. A half pound of this.
I mean, yeah. I just drank most of my milk here, and then I opened my bubbly. You guys aren't going to see what's going to happen after that, so because we're going to run out of time here.
I was going to say, we're running out of time, so, I think you're going to be safe.
Yeah. Oh, this was fun.
Well, this was a lot of fun, dude. I appreciate it. Like,
yeah, me too.
It's been a while.
I've never been live before. This is my first time, actually. So this is, yeah.
I'm pretty excited that I got to be your first live. It's one of those things I want to do more lives. I just haven't really found an excuse. Like, you've got Dustin over at RC Woodshop. Like, he does the live with no name, and it is phenomenal. Like, he basically has Alexa give him a bunch of random questions that he'll ask during the interview. And like, it's fantastic. I've been on his twice now. But like, I haven't found a really good, like, this is what I'm going to do in a life. Like, maybe I move on to other large candy bars. Like, start researching it. I can call them Candied Conversations. Like, this will be my thing. I'm gonna gain like 200 pounds and probably wind up with diabetes, but in it for the gram, right?
Yeah, whatever it takes, man.
I'm gonna have to buy a Peloton after this. I'm just.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Emmett. Peace out, brother. Thanks for joining.
Yes. Good luck with those twins, my friend.
Yes.
Like he and Hannah. Please tell me Hannah's your wife's name. I'm totally blanking.
It's
Hannah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm
Actually,
terrible with
his name is Steve. Steven sometimes, I think. Bye, Steve.
Yeah. Steve's son, I think, maybe. Yeah, no. But it was just one of those things where like I found out that they had twins and I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm actually a fraternal twin. I have a twin sister.
Oh, cool.
And like we look nothing alike. So that's obvious. But my favorite thing is people would always ask, well, are you guys identical? I had somebody looking at us. My sister is a good probably 7 to 8 inches shorter than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Her hair is darker than mine, and she's a lot paler skinned. And they're like, are you identical? I'm like, I don't think you know what that word means. Sorry.
Wow.
So, yeah. But cool. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I don't want to get cut off like I always get cut off with Dustin, because otherwise that's going to be like, oh, that's just Andrew. Andrew's always getting cut off at the end. So.
No, you're going to be Mr. Candied Conversation after this.
Yeah, I may have to downsize to the smaller candies after this. Kevin, you're killing me, dude. You are killing me right now, man.
Go to sleep, dude.
All right. Well, have a great night.
You too.
Hang in there with the whole staying at home. It looks like it's paid off for you, at least with this Game Boy, for sure.
Yeah,
so.
It was definitely a blessing in disguise. But I'm still trying to take advantage of it, learning more stuff.
Yeah.
Diving in.
Yeah. No, one thing that I'd like to do someday is like do a maker road trip where I just go to different people's shops.
I thought of that too. That would be so fun.
Dude, we just rent an RV. We cross America visiting people's shops. You and me.
That'll take like 2 weeks. Because it takes 3.5 days just to get across. Maybe 2.5 if you're savage, but
that could be crazy, like crazy fun, but crazy.
Crazy content, crazy fun, man. A lot of memories.
Yeah. So cool. All right.
We'll see. We'll talk about that. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again sometime, like maybe with a smaller candy bar, but you know.
Okay. All right, buddy. Cool. Take care, man. It was a lot of fun.
See ya. Thanks.
All right.